Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I am Deepika, and coming up in the next 1 hour. Azerbaijan Airline plane with 62 passengers and 5 crew members on board crashes in Kazakhstan. 25 survivors hospitalized. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi pens heartfelt note on former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's 100th birth anniversary. Tributes continue to pour in from across the nation. NASA spacecraft attempts closest ever approach to the Sun. Mission scientists await Friday's confirmation to receive first status update from the spacecraft. And Christmas celebrations underway in India and across the globe after midnight mass. Wishes pour in from space to the earth, caroling hymns and songs on Christmas 2024. Now, the big news that we are tracking at this edition of News Hour is that in Kazakhstan, a passenger plane crashed near the city of Aktau on Wednesday, and initial reports suggested 6 people have survived in the incident. Emergency services were trying to put out a fire at the crash site. Russian news agencies said the plane was operated by Azerbaijan Airlines and had been flying from Baku to Grozny in Russia's Chechnya, but had been rerouted due to fog in the area. Well, there were no immediate comment from Azerbaijan Airlines on this. 62 passengers and 5 crew members were on board, of which 25 have survived. Another major news coming in from Afghanistan, where Pakistan airstrikes in an eastern border province has killed 46 people. On Tuesday night, Pakistan bombarded 4 points in the Barmal district of Paktika province. The death toll currently stands at 46, most of whom were children and women. Taliban spokesman said 6 more people were wounded, who are mostly children. A Defence Ministry statement late on Tuesday condemned the latest strikes by Pakistan on Afghan territory, calling them barbaric and a clear aggression. And DD India correspondent Jessica joins us from Newsroom with more on this. Jessica, what is the latest that we're tracking on Pakistan's airstrike on Afghanistan so far?
Well, so far you've heard from the Afghan Defence Ministry led by the Afghan Taliban regime that is currently in control of Afghanistan has said that 46 people have died, and mostly those are the refugees from Waziristan that were camping out on the outskirts, as you mentioned, at the Paktika province, which is where these airstrikes from the Pakistan forces has seemed to have struck. But if you hear from the Pakistan side, there have been very few confirmations and sources, revelations on how these strikes were carried out. But as we understand the story at this point, the Pakistani strikes were deliberately looking at, eliminating all these Taliban Pakistan hideouts that were there, camping in the eastern province, as you pointed out, in Paktika. So that is the main aim of the Pakistan army, to even strike those cells, operational cells, as well as training facilities of the TTP. Now, this comes in response to increased attacks on Pakistan officials, as you've seen in the recent past, and the entire year has gone by. We've seen reports of Pakistan army alleging the TTP's increased attack over its officials, particularly on the border, despite a ceasefire that was agreed prior to 2021. And ever since the US troops withdrawal from 2021 and of the Afghan Taliban taking control of Afghanistan, things have really heated up on those borders. And with TTP's constant presence in Pakistan, its background on how the kind of attacks we've seen in Pakistan, be it on schools, be it on churches. Remember, this is the same TTP that had attacked Malala Yousafzai as well, for when she had demanded to go to school and dismantle a ruling by Taliban by not allowing other women along with her to go and study. So this is exactly what the TTP has been, and the response from the Pakistani side is merely on the ceasefire violations that took place 2022. and has since continued to attack Pakistani officials.
All right. Thank you, Jessica, for joining us and bringing us the latest on this developing update. Moving on. Now, Russia conducted a retaliatory attack on Ukraine's energy system and cities in its northeastern region with cruise and ballistic missiles on Wednesday morning. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia launched over 70 missiles, 100 at Ukraine energy system in Kharkiv. Now, at least one person was dead and 3 others injured in the attack. Besides, damages were also reported to civilian non-residential infrastructure. Ukraine's energy minister said that Russia is massively attacking the power sector and that the transmission system operator had imposed restrictions on electricity supply to minimize the impact. Now, Russia has intensified its attack on the Ukrainian energy sector since spring 2004, damaging almost half of its generating capacity and causing hours-long blackouts throughout the country. Shifting focus to Israel-Hamas conflict, the Israeli army said on Tuesday it had concluded military operations in southern Gaza, which are likely to be leading the killing of Hamas's 6 hostages in August. Now, in late August, after troops found the 6 hostages' body in an underground shaft in Rafah, Israeli military conducted gradual and cautious ground activities but had a circumstantial influence on the terrorists' decision to murder the 6 hostages. Netanyahu said at the time that the 6 Kamelgat, Eden Yerushalmi, Hersh Goldberg Poland, Alexander Lobanov, Olmuk Sarusi and Ori Denio were executed with a bullet to the head. The Hostages and Missing Families Forum campaign group responded to the army's statement by calling for action to bring back all remaining hostages. And as the fighting churns on, an Israeli delegation returned from a significant round of talks in Qatar, aiming to secure a truce and the release of dozens of hostages still held in the Gaza Strip. Indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas, mediated by Qatar, Egypt and the United States, have taken place in Doha in recent days, rekindling hope of an agreement that has proven elusive. On Monday, Netanyahu told the parliament that there was some progress in the negotiations. Hamas and other Palestinian groups have also reported progress this week towards a ceasefire. Meanwhile, Lebanon Ceasefire Monitoring Committee held a meeting in Beirut in the presence of caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati and Army Commander General Joseph Aoun, nearly a month into a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. Now, Israel has instructed its diplomatic missions in Europe to try to get the Iran-backed Houthi group in Yemen designated as a terrorist organization. The Houthis have repeatedly fired drones and missiles towards Israel in what the group describes as an act of solidarity with Palestinians fighting Israeli forces in Gaza. The attacks have disrupted international shipping routes, forcing firms to reroute to longer and more expensive journeys that have in turn stoked fears over global inflation. The United States, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, and the United Arab Emirates, along with Australia, Canada and New Zealand, along with Israel, currently designate the Houthis as terrorists. Meanwhile, Israel intercepted a missile launched from Yemen earlier on Tuesday, marking a significant escalation in regional hostilities. But the missile was successfully neutralized before entering Israeli territory with no reported injuries or damage. Well, in the aftermath of Assad's collapse and new regime in control, Syrian armed groups have agreed that they will dissolve their command and consolidate them under the Defense Ministry. On Tuesday, the new Syrian leader Ahmad al-Shara reached an agreement with former rebel faction chiefs in this regard. A statement from the new administration announced this development. The ministry would be restructured and will also use former rebel factions and officers who defected from Bashar al-Assad's army. However, representatives of the US-backed Kurdish-led forces that control swathes of Syria's northeast were absent from the meeting. South Korea's suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol defied second summon for investigation over martial law on Wednesday. Yoon, who's been a former prosecutor, also failed to attend the hearing that he was summoned to last Wednesday, giving no explanation for his absence. The Corruption Investigation Office is expected to decide in the coming days whether to issue a third summon. The officials are also expected to ask the court to grant an arrest warrant that would compel Yoon to appear for questioning. Well, Yoon was stripped of his duties by the parliament on the 14th of December, 11 days after his brief declaration of martial law in the country. Yoon faces impeachment and criminal charges of insurrection that could see him jailed for life. He can even face the death penalty. Now, violence that engulfed Mozambique after the country's highest court confirmed ruling Frelimo party presidential candidate Daniel Chapo as the winner of disputed 9th of October elections killed at least 21 people. Mozambique Interior Minister Pascoal Ronda told a news conference late on Tuesday that a wave of violence and looting was sparked by the court's announcement a day earlier. He said it was led by mostly youthful supporters of losing candidate Venancio Mondlane, who received 24% of the vote, second to Chapo, who got 65%. Now, 78 people have been arrested so far and security measures have been tightened across the country. Tensions were high in the country ahead of the Constitutional Council ruling on Monday, and violent protests started immediately after the announcement was made. At least 3 people were killed and others injured when armed men opened fire on a group of journalists gathered for a government press conference set to announce the reopening of Haiti's largest public hospital. 2 reporters and a police officer were killed. Armed gangs in Haiti, with near total control over capital Port-au-Prince and white rabbit over the rest of the country, have targeted hospitals to show their muscle over the government, forcing most of them to shut down. The people of Haiti continue to suffer with unbearable levels of gang violence. Haiti has been engulfed in a wave of gang violence since the assassination in 2021 of the then President Jovenel Moise. The UN says that as many as 5,000 people have been killed in violence in Haiti this year. Along the country is now on the verge of collapse. A volcano in the U.S. state of Hawaii continued to fire fountains of lava some 80 meters into the air in a dramatic eruption on the Big Island. The latest eruption of Kilauea volcano, one of the most active in the world, began early on Monday and was limited to a closed area of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. The volcanic eruption is ejecting a plume of gas, including sulfur dioxide and fine volcanic particles that reach up to 2,440 meters altitude, which the United States Geological Survey said was the primary concern. Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Nation observes Good Governance Day in honour of India's former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's 100th birth anniversary. And nation pays tribute to Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya.
Age of artificial intelligence. New strides in semiconductors. Pushing the frontiers of space. Watch Reflections 2024, Science, Technology and Space, only on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Well, India is remembering former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the statesman who shaped India with his vision and resolve. Born in the year 1924 in Gwalior, he served as India's 10th Prime Minister for 3 non-consecutive terms and remains a towering figure. Vajpayee ji was a prominent Indian politician and a founding member of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Known for his eloquence and poetic skills, he was respected across party lines for his liberal political views and consensus-building efforts. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was even honoured with Bharat Ratna, which is the country's highest civilian honour, in the year 2015. President, Vice President and Prime Minister of India, along with other leaders, paid floral tributes to Atal Bihari Vajpayee at Sadaiv Atal Memorial in the national capital. Other leaders also paid their respects. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Home Minister Amit Shah and Bharatiya Janata Party Chief J.P. Nadda were among the top leaders who also paid tributes to the former Prime Minister. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited central state Madhya Pradesh on Wednesday. And during his visit, Prime Minister laid the foundation stone of Ken-Betwa River linking project at Khajuraho, more than 23 years after the project was first conceptualized. The project is expected to benefit 4.4 million people in 10 districts of Madhya Pradesh and 2.1 million in 12 districts of UP, which jointly forms the water-scarce Bundelkhand region. It will also provide irrigation to about 1 million hectares of farmland. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also released a commemorative stamp and coin marking the 100th birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also visited an exhibition during foundation stone laying ceremony of the Ken-Betwa River linking national project in Khajuraho. And speaking at the event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed government's efforts of connecting rivers across India. He also congratulated the people of Madhya Pradesh for the Ken-Betwa River linking project.
आज हमारी सरकार देश भर में नदियों को जोड़ने के अभियान को गति दे रही है। केन-बेतवा लिंक प्रोजेक्ट का सपना भी अब साकार होने वाला है। केन-बेतवा लिंक प्रोजेक्ट से बुंदेलखंड क्षेत्र में समृद्धि और खुशहाली के नए द्वार खुलेंगे। आज हमारी सरकार देश भर में नदियों को जोड़ने के अभियान को गति दे रही है। केन-बेतवा लिंक प्रोजेक्ट का सपना भी अब साकार होने वाला है। केन-बेतवा लिंक प्रोजेक्ट से बुंदेलखंड क्षेत्र में समृद्धि और खुशहाली के नए द्वार खुलेंगे।
Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote a few words remembering Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He said, and I quote him, "Atal Bihari Vajpayee stands as a towering statesman inspiring countless individuals. Atalji will always be remembered with gratitude as the visionary behind India's transition into the 21st century. His leadership saw remarkable advancements in information technology, telecommunications and communication networks. His foresight in connecting India is evident even today with the Golden Quadrilateral project linking the nation from end to end. Atalji's government implemented significant economic reforms that ended decades of stagnation and cronyism, setting the foundation for India's economic growth. A landmark achievement of his tenure was the Pokhran tests or Operation Shakti conducted on the 11th of May that highlighted the exceptional talent of India's scientific community. On the 13th of May, a second round of tests showcased unwavering leadership, signaling to the world that India would no longer succumb to external pressures or threats. Atalji's parliamentary brilliance shone throughout his political career. As Prime Minister, he countered opposition criticisms with both elegance and substance. True to his principles, Atalji never resorted to opportunistic tactics to cling to power. Deeply rooted in Indian culture, Atalji made history as India's External Affairs Minister by being the first Indian leader to address the United Nations in Hindi. A gifted writer and poet, his words had the power to inspire, provoke thought and bring solace. Together with leaders like L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi ji, he nurtured the party from its inception, steering it through challenges, setbacks and victories." Unquote. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's birth anniversary is being observed as Good Governance Day in India, honouring his leadership and services to society on this day. Let's take a look at the relevance and resolve of the day.
India's former Prime Minister and country's veteran leader Atal Bihari Vajpayee is the architect of India's transition into 21st CE. The inspirational leader was engaged in the service of the nation throughout his life. Vajpayee's rule proved to be a milestone for Indian politics and administration. The legacy of Atal good governance has been successfully followed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. PM Modi's Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, that is everyone together, everyone's development, everyone's trust policy is an appropriate example in point. The Modi government at the centre has taken many such initiatives in the last 10 years, which reflect the continuing legacy of striving for good governance. These schemes include Prime Minister Vishwakarma Yojana. It is an important initiative towards economically empowering traditional artisans and handicraftsmen. A provision of 13,000 crore rupees has been made under the scheme, which will be applicable for the next 5 years, that is, from the year 2023-24 to the year 2027-28. The Modi government at the centre has also set an ambitious target of building 3.32 crore houses in rural areas. As of November 19, 2024, 3.21 crore houses have been approved and 2.67 crore houses have been completed. The Jan Dhan scheme has proved to be a decisive factor in connecting every citizen of the country to the banking system. Under the scheme, people living below the poverty line can open zero balance account in their banks. The Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas scheme has proved to be a boon for India's growing economy. This skill certification scheme has enabled Indian youth to take industry-relevant skill training that will help them achieve better livelihood. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government also launched Ujjwala Yojana with an objective to make clean cooking fuel such as LPG available to the rural and deprived households which were otherwise using traditional cooking fuels. Under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme, the central government gives financial assistance of 6,000 rupees to the farmers of the country in a year. Moreover, Atal Pension Yojana has been launched to provide an uninterrupted income to all the citizens of the country after the age of 60 years. The Modi government also launched Ayushman Bharat scheme, the largest health assurance scheme in the world, which aims at providing a health cover of 5 lakh rupees per family per year. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the central government has also worked continuously to economically empower the people. Make in India, a government program, was launched in the year 2014 to promote entrepreneurship in the country. Prime Minister Swanidhi scheme was launched to economically empower the street vendors affected during the pandemic. As of the 24th of December 2024, loans have been distributed to 69 lakh street vendors under the scheme to re-establish their lost business. The central government came up with the National Single Window System in September 2021. It is a digital platform for investors' guidance to identify and apply for faster approvals as per their business. National Logistics Policy was also launched in 2022 with the aim of reducing logistic cost and increased efficiency. It has played a vital role in making Indian products more competitive globally. These steps are highly inspired by Atal Bihari Vajpayee's ideologies. These have a greater significance for the whole nation for the overall development of the country. Bureau Report, DD India.
And as we remember Atal Bihari Vajpayee, let's now take a look at his life journey.
Born on December 25, 1924 in Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, Atal Bihari Vajpayee is regarded as one of the most successful and honest leaders in Indian political spectrum. Known for his oratory skills and versatile command over language, he captured the imagination and won the hearts of common man. Atal Bihari Vajpayee had an indelible and huge impact on Indian politics, serving as a Member of Parliament 11 times, 9 in the lower house and twice in the upper house. He was the Prime Minister of India 3 times during his illustrious career. Vajpayee's political journey began in 1957 when he contested the second general elections on a Jan Sangh ticket. In 1977, he became the Foreign Minister of India and addressed the UN General Assembly in Hindi. In 1980, Vajpayee co-founded the Bharatiya Janata Party with party stalwart L.K. Advani. He became the Prime Minister of India in 1996 and then again in 1998. During his second tenure, the Pokhran II nuclear tests were conducted, showcasing a bolder and stronger India. In 1999, BJP won the 13th Lok Sabha elections. In the same year, India successfully countered Pakistan's aggression in the Kargil war, thwarting the Pakistani soldiers from the icy heights of Kargil and delivering a decisive blow to the ill-fated plan by the Pak army. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's leadership also saw the launch of the Golden Quadrilateral project, a pioneering vision to connect four major metro cities with express highways. It was under his guidance that the Chandrayaan-1 mission was announced. In 2014, he was honored with India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. Known for his ethics, thoughtfulness, and generosity, Vajpayee became a beloved leader across the nation. On his 94th birth anniversary in 2018, his memorial, Sadaiv Atal, was dedicated to the nation. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was not just a towering leader but also a sensitive poet who could bring smiles even on serious matters with his witty remarks. He left a global legacy as a distinguished orator, taking immense pride in India's culture, language, and people. Kajal's report for DD India.
And India is also remembering Mahamana Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya on his birth anniversary today, which is the 25th of December. His birth anniversary is a tribute to his legacy of promoting education, Hindu-Muslim unity, and his efforts to revive Indian cultural and spiritual values. A prominent freedom fighter, educationist, and the founder of Banaras Hindu University, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya is remembered for his immense contributions to India's independence movement and social reforms. On the 24th of December 2014, he was posthumously bestowed with the highest civilian honour of India, which is the Bharat Ratna. And tributes were paid to Madan Mohan Malviya in the Parliament House as well. Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Up next, we'll get you exciting visuals on Christmas Day celebrations in India. And as Santa travels around the world, we show you exactly where he is fighting right now.
December 26, 2004, a devastating earthquake off the coast of Indonesia triggered a tsunami that swept across the Indian Ocean. India was one of the worst affected countries. Today, after 20 years, we reflect on the tragedy and explore how the nation has since fortified itself against such calamities.
Welcome back after that short break. Let's quickly recap the top headlines of the hour. Azerbaijan Airlines plane with 62 passengers and 5 crew members on board crashes in Kazakhstan. 14 survivors hospitalized. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi pens heartfelt note on former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's 100th birth anniversary. Tribute continues to pour in from across the nation. NASA spacecraft attempts closest ever approach to the Sun. Mission scientists await Friday's confirmation to receive first status update from the spacecraft. And Christmas celebrations underway in India and across the globe after midnight mass. Wishes pour in from space to the earth, caroling hymns and songs on Christmas 2024. Now, on a mission to touch the Sun, NASA's Parker Solar Probe became the first spacecraft to fly through the corona, which is the Sun's upper atmosphere, in 2021. And on the 25th of December 2024, probe is attempting to make history with the closest ever approach to the Sun. Let's listen in to Aarti Rana's report.
The Parker Solar Probe is plunging into our star's outer atmosphere to try and help us better understand how the Sun works. The mission is named for Dr. Eugene N. Parker, who pioneered modern understanding of the Sun. As per NASA, the Parker Solar Probe was supposed to fly just around 6.1 million kilometers from the surface of the Sun on Tuesday, December 24th at 6:53 a.m. European Standard Time, or about 5:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. As predicted by the agency, during closest approach or perihelion, the mission operations went out of contact with the spacecraft. Parker will transmit another beacon tone on Friday, December 27th to confirm its health following the close flyby. The Parker Solar Probe was launched in 2018. It has already swept past the Sun 21 times, getting ever nearer, but the Christmas Eve visit is record-breaking. The probe would have probably faced temperatures of 1800 Fahrenheit or about 982 degrees Celsius and radiation that could frazzle the onboard electronics.
We have never had a human-made object so close to the sun. To get that close, we had to use Venus to have our gravity assist to slow Parker down so that it could get that close. Also, we had to not melt. That's why the Parker has this heat shield that holds the instruments at room temperature and keeps the heat of the sun away. And these are just amazing feats. And so it's so amazing that we are so close and really getting to measure in detail this material up close.
During its journey, the mission will provide answers to long-standing questions that have puzzled scientists for more than 60 years. Why is the corona much hotter than the sun's surface? How does the solar wind accelerate? What are the sources of high-energy solar particles?
We're here at solar maximum, which is the time that the sun is the most dynamic, and it has explosions all the time, these huge coronal mass ejections and solar flares. And those are the biggest, most energetic explosions in our solar system, and actually larger than the entire planet Earth. They're really just some unbelievable things to observe. And so by passing this close to the sun, we're able to observe these explosions close up, and instead of having them get all stirred up and blurred by the time they reach the Earth, we're getting to see the pristine processes happening right up close to their origin.
Data from Parker will be key to understanding and perhaps forecasting space weather. Space weather can change the orbits of satellites, shorten their lifetime, or interfere with onboard electronics. The probe has 4 instrument suites designed to study magnetic fields, plasma, and energetic particles and image the solar wind. Since its launch in 2018, Parker has circled gradually closer to the sun, using flybys of Venus to move into a tighter orbit. With every orbit bringing it closer, the probe faces brutal heat and radiation to provide humanity with unprecedented observations, visiting the only star we can study up close. Out of communication for several days, next signal is expected on December 27th to see if it has survived. Aarti Rana's report, DD India.
And now to discuss more on this, I'm joined by Dr. Ajay Lele, who is a space expert from IDSA, which is the International Data Space Association. Good afternoon, sir. Now, while NASA's Parker Solar Probe is really historical, help us understand its importance and benefits in terms of world's progress in space exploration.
First, some correction. I come from IDSA, that is the Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis. As far as this particular probe is concerned, it's a very historic moment, as it has been already explained in the report which was just telecasted. You see, what happens is that we are very keen to know about what is happening on the surface of the sun. This is essentially because you know that entire Earth atmosphere, the survival on the Earth itself depends on the activities which are happening on the sun. There are a lot of activities which happen on the sun, like coronal mass ejections, then there are solar storms, there are some fluxes also which are there. There's a huge amount of a plasma which is there. Then there is a solar wind also there. Please do not confuse the solar wind with a normal wind, because we have a wind and air, but here it is all about plasma. What happens is that as these things start happening, as the atmosphere on the sun keeps on changing, we are interested to know what is happening with the solar weather, or what we call that as a space weather. Just to give you some context to this, around 2 years back, Elon Musk had launched around 49 satellites for his SpaceX. And out of those 49 satellites, within one day, 40 satellites had gone unserviceable because of the solar storms. So this is extremely important as far as our activities on Earth are concerned, because at times the high radiations also could impact the lives of the pilots and the passengers on board of the aircrafts also. These events happen not very regularly, but when they happen, they actually impact your survival on the Earth. Particularly as far as our telecommunications are concerned, there is a huge amount of impact the space weather puts into. So there has been efforts for years together to understand the space weather. Couple of decades back, the US had launched, along with the European Union, observatory called SOHO, which is out there into the space, picking up a lot amount of inputs from that. In fact, if you recollect, in the year 2023, India has launched a satellite called Aditya L1
Right.
to understand the sun. Very recently, for the European Union, ISRO has launched a satellite called Proba 3. Again, this satellite is going to make us understand better things about the sun. But as far as all these satellites are concerned, they have not gone so close the where NASA's probe today has gone. So that is the important thing, because we will come to know many, many more things which otherwise are unknown to us.
And also when we talk about the mission scientists who are awaiting a final confirmation by Friday, but what actually are the chances of positive reciprocal activity here when we look at it?
I think, as it was explained, that this particular probe has already completed 21 flybys around the sun. So as it is approaching closer to the sun, more amount of temperatures are there. As it was told that the temperatures could be around 980 degrees or around 1000 degrees Celsius. So these are very huge temperatures. The initial indications which are there from NASA appears that it could have sustained those high temperatures, because that's what it has been already planned for. It's not this particular mission. They are planning in the month of March and another mission in the month of June also, as far as coming closer to the sun. So NASA has planned it. To my mind, the mission must have become successful, but it takes time to collect the data, to get communication from these things, because the distances are so far. So by Friday, we will come to know exactly what has happened to the life of this mission.
Now, Dr. Lele, the Christmas Eve flyby is the first of the 3 close passes, with the next 2 which are set for March the 22nd and June 19 in the year 2025. What could be the possible developments that we can expect from the next 2 passes here?
You see, this is a similar type of a things, because the probe has got certain equipments on board of it. These equipments will be catching up information about electromagnetic density, about your electrons, protons, ions. Then there is a small telescope also on board of it. So it will collect a lot amount of data. So all these 3 missions will collect data from a vicinity which is very close to the sun, incomparable to other units. Just to put the things in context, our Aditya L1 is around 148 million kilometers from the sun, while this particular probe is around 6.1 million closer to the sun. So you can imagine how much amount of a distance it is close to the sun, and what sort of correct information it could carry because of its close vicinity to the sun.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Lele, for joining us from Institute for Defence Studies and Analysis. And thank you so much for bringing us a rounded perspective on this global development.
Thank you.
You're watching Needy India News App, and now it's time to get you all the Christmas cheer from around the globe. Locals, tourists and dogs soaked in the Christmas spirit at Sydney's Bondi Beach on Christmas Day, enjoying the sunny weather, wearing festive Santa hats and posing for photographs with the Christmas tree on the sand. Sydney's ocean beaches, famed for golden sand and clean water, draw tourists from around the globe. Christian worshippers attended the midnight Christmas Mass at the Church of the Nativity in the West Bank town of Bethlehem in the early hours of Wednesday. The Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, Pier Battista Pizzaballa, led the service in the town revered by Christians as Jesus' place of birth. The Church of the Nativity is administered by 3 churches, which are the Roman Catholic Church, the Greek Orthodox Church and the Armenian Church. Now, this year's Christmas in Bethlehem will only be marked by religious rituals. Hundreds of people were dressed in their festive best at Cocoa Beach, Florida for the 16th annual Surfing Santas event. The charity event brings together surf and Christmas enthusiasts, blending Florida's sunshine with the holiday spirit. Began as a small family beach day, now the event has grown into a cherished tradition for locals and visitors. US President Joe Biden shared on the 24th of December a Christmas video showcasing the festive decorations at the White House. In his message, Biden reflected on the enduring message of the holidays, emphasizing peace and compassion among all Americans. Now, each year, President Biden and the First Lady have opened the doors of the People's House wider and wider to welcome Americans in to celebrate the holidays. In Nepal, celebrating Christmas, people are offering mass prayers in Kathmandu Valley. Not only locals, but many foreign tourists who were on Christmas vacation to Nepal attending mass gathering. Apart from faith, restaurants, bars, malls and shopping streets like Darbar Marg and Thamel are decorated on Christmas themes. Giving festive vibes, shopkeepers and staffs in business area are seen adorning Santa caps and dresses to attract tourists on the occasion of Christmas today. And Christmas celebrations grip India with a wave of joy, unity and festive spirit, transforming the nation into a colourful celebration of culture, faith and togetherness. In major cities like Goa, Shimla and Shillong, the streets are lit up with dazzling Christmas lights and public spaces are adorned with massive Christmas trees and intricate decorations. Shopping markets and restaurants compete with one another to showcase their best holiday displays, attracting crowds eager to experience the magic of Christmas. The festive spirit is evident everywhere, from beautifully decorated homes to the bustling Christmas markets, offering everything from homemade decorations to festive foods. And to get us the latest sense of festivities from across different parts of India, I am joined by DD India correspondent Siddharth Bharadwaj is joining us from New Delhi, and later on we would also be having Muskan from Shimla. First of all, coming on to you, Siddharth. Now, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the Christmas celebration event, he said that Christmas this time is really special because we are entering a Jubilee year. Tell us how New Delhi is celebrating this special occasion today, Siddharth.
Yeah, you're right, Deepika. Very good afternoon to you, first of all, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Everyone is celebrating Christmas here in the capital. I'm at Sacred Heart Cathedral here, and I'm here since morning, and people are just coming from all walks of life. And the Christmas celebrations, it certainly seems like that there is a vibrance in the air, there is a joy in the air, there are colors in the air, the small children, they are posing as Santa, and this is that time of the year, Deepika, definitely when everyone would go out, and especially today when I talk to you about the weather. It's been a beautiful weather since the morning, a bright sunny day, definitely compelled all the people from the capital to come out of their houses and come here and attend the Christmas celebrations. In fact, Deepika, I would like to tell you that I was here last night as well when people were observing the midnight mass, and people were very, very happy, and from all walks of life, like I was saying, that people came here and they were enjoying, and this is the time when people, gather in unison, families gather in unison. When I talk to you about in fact, if I talk to you about the midnight mass, then it's a cherished family tradition for many, wherein they gather in unison, they work, they pray, they eat, and which is followed by the hymns, prayers, and sermons. And if I would like to tell you what the scene here is like, I would like to request my camera person to pan towards this beautiful Christmas tree that we have here at the Sacred Heart Cathedral. Deepika, you can see how beautifully this Christmas tree is decorated. People here have all gathered. They are taking selfies, they are getting clicked, they are taking pictures, they are also lighting the candles. They are actually enjoying the Christmas festivities, and it will certainly go, Deepika, throughout the day, not just here. They will go out, they will go to shopping, as you were also saying that markets are like full jam-packed. They will do shopping, and they'll go to the restaurant, they'll have dinner, and as you can see, the people out here who've gathered here, they are just from all walks of life, from everywhere, and not just here in the Sacred Heart Cathedral. From in every cathedral across the capital, they are gathered, and then they will be taking part in the Christmas festivities. So all in all, it's a very nice mood out here, and people are just enjoying. The smiles on their faces reveals everything. They are very much happy to be part of the Christmas festivities. They are eating cakes, lighting candles and going to markets and shoppings and whatnot. So that's how people here in the capital are enjoying the Christmas festivities. And like I just said, Deepika, not just till the evening, they will go on till the New Year. So
indeed, Siddharth, thank you so much for joining us and bringing us the latest from New Delhi. Now let's go across to Shimla, where DD India correspondent Muskan is also joining us. Muskan, when we talk about the winter wonderland, the Queen of Hills, how is Shimla celebrating Christmas amid snow and rain?
Deepika, I'm standing in front of the second oldest church of North India right now. And as you can see behind me, how beautiful the church is looking. The sun is shining. We have a very pleasant weather today. And, the beauty of church has just come out in this sunshine. And the church actually got beautification just a few days ago. And tourists are so excited. We had a prayer in the morning. And tourists are still coming in the church and praying in front of Jesus Christ. And behind me, you can see how much of crowd is there. I will ask my cameraman to pan the camera so you can see how beautiful the church is looking right now. And the crowd, the ridge is packed, the hotels are packed, and people are very excited. And of course, with Christmas, we have Winter Carnival going on right now. So people are getting a double treat.
Right. And also, Muskan, when we talk about the tourist footfall, how is it looking like right now? We can see so many people behind you who've just arrived to witness the beauty there in Shimla. Muskan. All right, we couldn't get the visuals because of the connectivity.
Right now, not only Shimla, Manali and the other famous tourist spot.
Thank you, Muskan, and wishing a very Merry Christmas to Siddharth and Muskan, both of you. Thank you so much for bringing us the latest update from New Delhi and Shimla and showing us those beautiful visuals on how people are celebrating Christmas 2024. Moving on, now the North American Aerospace Defense Command website's annual Santa Tracker is a beloved tradition that has captured the hearts of millions of children and families around the world. And this festive feature tracks Santa Claus as he makes his magical journey around the globe on Christmas Eve, delivering gifts to children. Now, this tradition began in 1955 when a child phoned the Continental Air Defense Command Operations Center asking for Santa Claus. And each year, NORAD offers real-time updates on Santa's progress as he travels across the world. Using state-of-the-art technology, including satellites, radar and fighter jets, NORAD tracks Santa's sleigh as it makes its way from the North Pole, delivering presents to children across the globe. And if we talk about the current location of Santa Claus, he is right now at Alaska in the United States. And there you can see the visuals which are brought by NORAD, bringing on the live tracking of Santa Claus, who's continuously distributing gifts as well across the globe. We are heading for a short break now, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Travis Head declared fit to play for Boxing Day test against India. And Nepal's first ever international hot air balloon event kicks off in Pokhara.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour, and now it's time to get you all the latest action from the world of sports. First, to begin with cricket. Australia captain Pat Cummins has confirmed on Wednesday that batter Travis Head will be available for the Boxing Day test against India, which is scheduled to start at the Melbourne Cricket Ground on 26th of December. Head was at risk of missing out on the fourth test in the ongoing Border Gavaskar Trophy series, even after suffering a quad strain during the third test in Brisbane, but the batter successfully passed the medical test. Head leads the scoring chart at the moment, having amassed 409 runs in his 5 innings so far at an average of 81.8 and has also scored 2 centuries. In other team news, Sam Cohn stars and Scott Boland will come in for Nathan McSweeney and Josh Hazelwood. Indian pacer Jasprit Bumrah and all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja will continue to hunt for landmarks during the fourth test against Australia at Melbourne starting on Thursday. Well, Bumrah is just 6 wickets away from 200 test scalps to become the 12th Indian bowler to achieve this landmark. The Indian pacer has taken 194 wickets from 43 tests. Bumrah is the leading wicket taker in the series with 21 wickets in 3 matches. On the other hand, Jadeja is just 7 wickets away from 600 international wickets and is all set to become only the 5th Indian bowler to reach the milestone. Across 349 international matches, he has taken 593 wickets with 17 5-wicket hauls to his name. Against Australia, he has taken 53 wickets in 10 tests. In women's cricket, India beat West Indies by 115 runs in the second one-day international in Vadodara to win the 3-match series by 2-0. Harleen Deol scored a brilliant century to take her team to a mammoth total of 358 runs. On the other hand, West Indies were bowled out for just 243 runs in 46.2 overs. India's Priya Mishra took 3 wickets, while Deepti Sharma and Pratika Rawal took 2 each. With this victory, India have clinched 3-match series with the last match scheduled to take place on Friday. And hot air balloons soared over the skies over Pokhara as Nepal's first ever international hot air balloon event kicked off on Tuesday. 25 hot air balloons participated, with representation coming from countries from all across the world. The 9-day festival was aimed at promoting adventure tourism in the Himalayan nation. India's public service broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platform. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India News Hour, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas. Namaskar.